Good morning. What is up? This is djWHEAT, joined as always by itmeJP, and welcome to our very special Sunday morning episode of 8-Bits. Don't expect that this is a normal thing. It's just the way. It's the role play philosophy of scheduling shows. Do it when you can do it. Welcome to this week's 8-Bits. What's up, man? You just got home, right? Like yesterday?
Yeah, I got home last night.
Okay.
I think it was like 6. I don't know. I had the worst. First off, the San Diego airport's terrible.
Really?
Not a fan. They're doing a ton of construction right now.
Oh, so they're trying to make it better.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, it was kind of ridiculous. And then I had a seat where there was a man about my size next to me. It was only a 2-aisle seat, and in front of me was this rather large woman who decided she was going to recline. And so, like, here I am with my iPad. I've got it in front of me on the little tray. She reclines immediately, and the thing just, like, pops back, hits me in the face, and I'm like, oh, shit, what's going on? So the entire time I was just like this for 3 hours. But
that really sucks.
You know, flying in general is kind of shitty.
Flying's pretty crappy. You know, a rare occasion when it's, like, enjoyable or it's not that bad. Totally understand. So San Diego Airport doesn't get a JP thumbs up, but you made it back.
I did. San Diego, on the other hand, that's a beautiful city. Have you flown into San Diego before?
Yeah.
That view when you fly in right over the harbor, because the airport's like almost on the water.
Yep.
That's incredible.
It's pretty great. It's a fantastic little city. Thankfully, only ever been there. Well, I take that back. Mostly only been there for pleasure and not necessarily business.
I mean, I didn't get to see much. Maggie was obviously out there. She works at SOE. That's where I was going. And so she was kind of showing me around town. Also went to the craziest movie theater I've ever been in. You ever heard of Sinopolis?
Sinopolis?
Uh-huh.
No.
Tickets were $25 a pop, so you kind of expect the best, right?
What is it even?
It's just a movie theater, but like Animal Draft House, it's basically built off that, right? So you can have they have a full service bar throughout the entire movie. You can order whatever you want.
I gotcha.
But the seats in this are like motorized and have like heat elements in them, and like you can kick them all the way up.
Dude, JP, there's a Marcus Theaters like 300 yards from my house. Yeah, they just redid the whole thing. So every theater is what they call a dream lounger.
Nice.
But it's the same thing. It's like they're little love seats that plug into the wall, and they have all sorts of bells and whistles for them. But they're comfortable as hell. So yeah, what'd you go see?
So I was out there in San Diego. People are saying my audio is muted. Does it sound, or not muted, but muffled?
I don't know. Maybe just it's coming across a little bassy.
Okay.
But
I did just plug this mic back in, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you sound. Yeah, it is just a little bit bassy, but
Well, whatever.
Anyways, I can understand you. I mean, it's not.
No, that's fine.
People made chat make it seem like, I don't know.
Cool. So I went out to San Diego. Sony Online Entertainment invited me out there to check out H1Z1 and just to see the offices and stream as well, which happened on Friday, which was really weird because I felt like I did what I always do, and I kind of I bring myself into somewhere else, and 20 minutes into the stream that lasted about 2 hours, we're being served like margaritas on air. And I'm just like, well, I mean, Jimmy, if you want a margarita, I guess we could have a margarita. And we had like 2 or 3. I think the stream went fantastic. The game, I guess we could just jump right into it.
Well, before you do to jump into it, because I know you probably got plenty to say.
Mm-hmm.
What movie did you go see? I never.
Oh, I went and saw the new Planet of the Apes.
Okay. And
I was exhausted though, so it was an enjoyable movie, but I was also struggling to fall asleep. or not 12:30.
Oh, I get it. No, I went and saw that at the midnight on Thursday, and I ended up staying up till 4 that night because I just was so amped from that movie. I fucking
Really?
loved it. Oh, I loved it. I'm a huge Planet of the Apes fan though. Like overall, from the old shit, my dad introduced me to it. He's like, "You should watch that crap. You'd probably really like it." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll give it a shot." Like, this is dope. I think the remakes are incredible, and Andy Serkis,
the first one was incredible.
Blows me away. Yeah, dude, this one actually, I feel like I have to go see it a second time because there are moments of the movie where there is so much shit going on that you actually can't appreciate everything that your eyes are meant to see.
True.
So, yeah, I loved it. But we're going to see Transformers today as well.
Did
you see that?
No.
Okay.
What? I mean, I guess Minnie's into that, right?
No, he's not even here. It's just Jen and I. Yeah, but it's like, yeah.
Oh. Well, let me know how bad that one is.
Yeah, I can't believe it's 2 hours and fucking 40 minutes, dude. Because Planet of the Apes is like 2:07 or 2:10.
I was counting the minutes, hoping that movie would end. I was exhausted.
Oh man, that's too bad.
Yeah, I will definitely rewatch it because like I got out of the theater and I was feeling kind of meh on it, and I wouldn't I do what I always do, and I went and looked at like the Rotten Tomatoes score, and I was like, Jesus, was I just not paying attention?
You know what? We did the same, but almost every single Transformers has received absolute shit scores on Rotten Tomatoes. So I'm like, Jen and I are suddenly sitting there, and we're like 2 hours and 40 minutes. I'm like, well, hold on a second. It has Marky Mark in it. That's like a plus. I'll watch anything he's in, and it has fucking Optimus Prime at some point or another in the movie, fucking riding on the back of Grimlock and slicing robots in half.
See,
like
it sounds like the fan service is there.
Bad. Yeah, it can't be that bad.
That's why I was asking. I'll take your word for it.
Okay.
I'll let you see
We're
it.
going in. We're going to the matinee. We went for the cheap tickets. We're not even seeing this shit in 3D, which should tell you a lot because I love 3D
you love
movies.
3D. Did you see Dawn of the Planet of the Apes in 3D?
Yes.
Oh my.
Yes, it was pretty. Dude, there was some stuff at the end, man, that was awesome. Also, 3D does amazing things with water.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to explain, but like there was a scene where they're in a truck. There's no spoiler here, but they're in a truck or like a Jeep, and it's raining.
Yeah.
And did you see it in 3D?
No.
Okay.
No.
And there's like,
we're not seeing this in 3D no matter what.
There's a character outside the car, and then the shot is from inside the car, and like the effect of 3D on the water droplets and the character. I'm a sucker for that shit. It's pretty amazing.
Interesting.
Anyway.
Yeah. The idea of like binge drinking right before the movie and during the movie, and also an hour before that having a bottle of wine and eating at a place called Donovan's, which is this ridiculous steakhouse. I had the biggest piece of meat I've ever had on a plate.
Dude, was it like a 40-ounce something?
No, it was a prime rib. It was prime rib. They only serve it on Fridays at this place called Donovan's. It's like this ritzy steakhouse type place. And they said, yeah, we have prime rib. We've got 4 cuts left. Blah blah blah. And I was like, you know what? I'll take that. Like, you sold me.
Let me try that.
So like they bring out this plate. It's probably like that big or something like that. The potatoes like over here. It's probably like I don't know, like that big. The piece of meat is like this on the plate. It takes up like probably 4/5 of the plate with a little dollop of cream spinach and then this small little potato and like this gigantic fucking Tyrannosaurus piece of meat. It was incredible.
JP looks at the server and says, "That'll do, pig." That'll do.
That's exactly what happened. I tweeted a picture of it. It was so crazy.
I saw that. It looked crazy.
It was massive. It was really good food though. I enjoyed that.
Yummy, yummy, yummy. I might have had that much weight, 28 ounces of gyro meat the other night, but that's not nearly as exciting.
Yeah, that's not nearly as exciting.
Just made me feel really bad, but it tasted great. All right, let's talk about video games then, and let's start with why you were out. Oops, that shouldn't happen. Why you were out, and why we didn't have 8-bits on Friday, because of course it's all JP's fault. But yeah, so you went out to Sony Online Entertainment, got to hang out with the crew there.
All the
And
offices,
yeah,
all that stuff.
yeah. And
Pretty good office.
is that where like Planet Side
Yeah.
and
So I
everything?
saw, yeah, it's actually SOE is kind of weird, and I guess maybe I've been to Blizzard a bunch of times, and I don't know if it's normal, but you know, I saw all the different dev areas. I saw PlanetSide 2, I saw EQ1, EQ2, EverQuest Next, H1Z1, and then kind of their marketing and partner house, et cetera, et cetera. But one of the coolest rooms that I saw there was this room called the compliance room. And so they were telling me a little bit about it, and they said it's better if you just kind of see it with your own eyes. And so they opened the door, and on the left is just a wall, probably I don't know, probably like 10 rows tall, all the way up to the ceiling. And on these rows is basically every video card that's ever been released. And I'm thinking like, what the hell? Why is this here? Like, why do you have every single video card ever released? And then I turn to the right, and there's like probably about 5 or 6 rows all the way down this long stretch of room that are all monitors. And I'm like, what the hell is this? So I walk in, and there's this little guy sitting there, and he introduces himself, and he goes, yeah, so this is the room where we basically hand build PCs all day and check problems on all of our software to see, with all of this hardware, try to recreate stuff that's messed up for a lot of people on the forums. And that was what they were kind of boasting, is that a lot of people outsource this stuff. They have everything in-house.
Ah, right, right.
And so it's just compliance testing for like every single piece of hardware out there. I got to see a G-Sync monitor. They had a couple of them there. I was very interested in that.
They're pretty amazed. Amazing,
Yeah,
huh?
I was pretty amazed at that. He had the one of the PCs that he was building. I guess he was going for like a max spec on some game or something. He had 3 690s in it, so it was like $6,000 worth of graphic card just sitting in front of me. He had some crazy amount of RAM, some crazy CPU. It was water cooled. He basically sits there and like builds amazing PCs all day. That's kind of his job.
Not too shabby.
So it was really cool seeing that. I thought that was the most interesting thing in that in the building. Across the way, they also had a network room where they can simulate like any sort of network in terms of speed. So even all the way down to 56K, because EverQuest 1 still runs on 56K.
Damn.
So like you can play EverQuest 1 with a dial-up connection still.
That is.
And that's why they have that, so they can test all that stuff,
That
which
is
is nuts.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But yeah, they had art everywhere. It's a really well done building. All the different dev teams have like their preferred mood lighting. So some are like really bright, and some are just like pitch black. Like I think the EverQuest 2 area was just pitch black, which was, or not pitch black, but very, very low lights. Some of them were just really lit up. So it was cool. I was I was pretty interested to see the offices. I've seen Blizzard, like I said, multiple times, and it was definitely I wouldn't say contrast, but it was definitely different than that.
Right. No, I mean, every studio I've ever visited usually has like some sort of quirk about it, but is drastically different, you know, which is cool. It's cool.
Yeah. And I got a lot of footage of that. I'll be putting it. I have to edit like a bunch of stuff today to get a video up. But I already have the whole stream up of H1Z1, which I guess we'll use this as a segue to jump into it.
Sure, because that's why you were there.
Yeah, that's why I was there. I got about an hour or so prior to the stream of just kind of checking it out and looking at a lot of the stuff. Tom, one of the devs on the game, I wish I remembered his title fully, but he was showing me a lot of the stuff with it. Obviously, the game is like incredibly early. Like I don't even think they were calling it alpha, because that's kind of what it is. They're still adding in and changing and doing so many different things to the game.
And you don't care if I just kind of throw questions at you, because I'm going to show a little bit of your footage. Okay, because the first question I want to ask when you say they're not even calling it alpha is that what I've seen, and I've watched you play a lot of Battle Royale, and Arma, like, it looks good from a lot of different perspectives, but I felt like everything I saw in this game looked pretty sharp, like decent,
that's
like good graphics, you know.
So that was one of the things that I was impressed with the most. The game's built off the PlanetSide 2 engine, and one of my initial questions was like, look, PlanetSide 2 doesn't have the best track record in terms of having a giant performance, having really well optimized performance in terms of the engine. how did you guys get this game running so well? And we were pulling like 100+ FPS in this game, just walking around. Granted, I don't know what was in that system that we were streaming on. I'm sure it was probably pretty pretty beefy.
Right.
You're gonna see a lot of screen tearing in the stream, by the way. That's all on the capture device. That does not happen in game. Just the way that they were capturing. But yeah, it runs.
Yeah,
this is
fuck
all
screen tearing.
ultra. It looks fantastic. I was very impressed with how like optimized it is. You know, people that play this genre of game are used to just like dealing with fucking bugs and like shitty performance. And I mean, you can think back to like the beginning of the DayZ. Even now, it still doesn't run all that well. And we've kind of expected everything to play like absolute shit, but we just struggle through it because we enjoy the gameplay so much. But yeah, I mean, feel free to throw questions at me.
Yeah. So, I mean, what did they get? What did you get? Did you get a chance? Because you played for about 2 hours, right? So, did you get a chance to, like, what did you get to experience? And I guess what were you most interested in experiencing to find out, you know, or to ask about the game as well?
Yeah, I pretty much saw everything that's in the game right now. I didn't get so much to like. Basically, I turned to Jimmy, who's the guy there on the left, one of the devs, and I was just like, "Can you spawn me this? Can you spawn?" And we were just like hacking. We were just spawning items for me and messing around with stuff like that. So I got to shoot guns. I got to shoot I think it was the M416. They spawned a bear in front of me, which is one of the newest things that they've put into the game. They have a bunch of wildlife in the game, so there's deer and there's rabbits, which you can both hunt, and then you can cook those and salvage those for meat and fur and animal fat to light torches and stuff like that. And they put a bear in front of me, and it's very, very rough. The AI for the bear is still not really all there, and the animations aren't either. But the bear can like run. They're saying that it's going to be able to run 30 miles an hour in game. If you see a bear, you're basically dead unless you're prepared for this, or unless he's just not interested in you. But you can go and like provoke a bear, and then you're just going to get mauled to death pretty much immediately. Is what they were saying. They've got wolves in the game. We saw those as well. I stumbled upon a couple wolves, and those things will definitely like have a pack mentality and track you down.
How is the shooting?
The shooting is it's good. I was not using like a mouse that I had configured or anything like that. But you know, Jimmy is a huge CS:GO fan, and he mentions that a lot throughout the stream. And he's handling all of the gunplay in this game. So it felt like it was supposed to. I mean, it's not going to be something like CS:GO style of gunplay or anything like that. But it seems good. Like I can't see anything wrong with it at this level at least. And granted, I didn't have a scope or anything on the gun. It was just a normal M4 looking down the iris sights.
And the game has some crafting elements to it as well.
Yeah, so the crafting is actually pretty robust. You start out and you've got an iron axe or like a wood chopper's axe. You've got a flashlight. You've got shirt. You've got jeans, and you've got shoes. So if you go down and chop it down, you can go and chop any tree down in the world with your axe. You get some wood. You can build a bow. That's kind of the first thing that they're going to allow you to do. You have to take your shirt off and turn that into cloth. Or just fine cloth in a lot of the buildings. But the crafting thing, he was saying that there's at least, what was the number he told me? There's 100+, I know for sure, different crafts in the game. These go as far as being like wood planks. You can barricade doors with a bunch of wood planks.
Okay.
You can craft torches with animal fat. The door animation, by the way, is stock. It's not going to open like it's suspenseful. That's just how they have it currently. Basically, you can craft almost... If you can think of it, they probably have it in the game. They have animal traps in there that it's pretty easy to craft early on. Because you do have to like pay attention. I didn't pay any attention to the food and health meters in the game.
But that is an element, sort of that
it is totally an element,
management.
Because you'll start to lose HP over time.
So did they explain it to you as, you know, because I know that they're still obviously still in early development of the game, but it is going to be more more multiplayer focused in terms of more people in the world at once, right?
Right. So they're touting it as an MMO. They're going to have servers. They don't know what they don't really have any idea what the server limit is going to be or how many people are
Okay.
going to be on a server. That's something that they were saying they kind of need to wait till early access because they don't know what that's going to look like. They don't know if you're going to put, 100 people on the server or 1,000 people on the server or 10,000 people on the server. I think PlanetSide 2 usually runs around, at least when I played it, it was around 8 to 10,000 a server. And I
If
think
they
these
had
maps are
8
the
to
same size.
10,000 players
It would be
like
kind of
this,
nuts.
it would be fucking like that is
But
getting
the one
close to
thing
like
too,
UO level.
the thing is that I think they're wanting to keep this idea of like survival horror intact. They don't want it to where you're just running around and you see 10 people right off the bat. They want it to be kind of at least from my understanding, kind of a scary philosophy. And when it's nighttime in this game
Oh yeah, I was
and you're
trying to
walking
find
around,
some nighttime actually.
they, I want to. There was one moment where we basically turned the day-night cycle up and just like watched the sun and the moon cross over, and you could really see the differences. It's actually like a pretty fucking scary game if you're out there all by your own. And it's one of the things where the zombies are actually they're scary. They're not like you see a zombie in DayZ and it's like, well, whatever, I'll just ignore it and I'll punch it if it comes near me. Like these things will kill you, and they do have like really impressive AI where if you run into a building, you shut the door in their face. If the back door is open,
They'll run.
they're going to come all the way around the building and just swarm you inside the house. Like they have really good AI, and then they're still working on it. They're still improving it. But yeah, it seems like it's going to be a pretty fun game. I don't know, like when I was playing it, I was asking one of the things that I was always kind of, I guess, talking about was, running simulator is something that gets tagged on a lot of these games, on pretty much any game in this genre. And I was asking them, like, what is there going to be to combat this? They basically said that players, depending on what they do, have a heat map attached to their avatars. And if you are, and I might be wrong about this, I hope I heard this correctly. If you are actively killing people or killing zombies or making a lot of noise, your heat map is going to get larger. And the zombies, the AI will notice this, and they'll be able to spot you from further away. So, like, depending on what you're doing, they're going to be able to react to you all over the place. So I want to see what that's like. There's a wolf that I was battling, a little bit delayed now, but
Yeah.
I ended up killing the wolf. I'm also hacking. They have tab bound to full HP. So if you just hit tab, you instantly get back up to full HP, and they
So
accidentally.
it's likely you're not going to be able to combat a wolf and 12 zombies at once.
Yeah, that's, well, maybe, but I don't think so.
Not
I
in
don't
your
think so.
okay.
Yeah.
So did they talk like if they're going to have an MMO style? Did they talk at all about the persistent state of everything? Like, is it going to be as brutal as if when I die, I lose?
So the only
lose
thing you
everything,
keep when you
or-
die are the way that the crafting system works is there's a thing called discovery, and it never tells you what you can craft exactly. But if you have like a wood plank, the wood plank will be highlighted. You can put that into the discovery thing, and you can hit discovery, and then it'll tell you you found out how to make a wood plank. And when you discover a recipe like that, that's the only thing that stays on your character. You lose everything else when you die,
Okay.
no matter what.
That's kind of cool.
And they can tweak that all on different servers. So if you don't want that type of stuff, they might have a server for you.
Now, but if you manage to build a house and, put all that together, then that you're not going to necessarily lose that, right?
The house will still stay there unless someone tears it down. They're planning to have, they do already have torches in the game to where you can burn things. And if your house is made completely of wood,
oh my God, dude,
someone could technically just come up and set your house on fire. From what they were saying, I don't think that's in the game yet. I think that's kind of the design that they have in mind, and that would be pretty fucking crazy if you could just go up and burn people's houses right off the bat.
That would be pretty insane.
So those are the bears. We spawned a bunch of bears.
Oh
And then I
god.
started circle strafing them just to kind of piss off Jimmy because he was like touting how good the AI and stuff is, and then I just circle strafed and they never hit me. uh, and that was also fun too. I would pop up on players in game because this was the dev server that they do weekly or daily play test with everyone in the studio, and like I would just walk up to a player and then spawn a bear right behind him and sit there and constantly talk to him, and then the bear would just maul him. So I was definitely cheating, but it was good fun.
Oh, GG.
But yeah, like
They're
game's
still
still,
quite a ways away, right? I
yeah,
mean,
and a lot of people that was kind of the biggest question is like they talked about early access so early on, saying that it was like 4 or 5 weeks down the line when it came out, and then a lot of people are upset with them right now for not having early access out. But the reason is because there's still a lot of stuff in this game that needs to be ironed out, at least even for early access. They don't want to like push it out there and just have it be completely fucked. Um,
I respect that decision.
yeah. So I don't know. It definitely has a long way to go, especially for release. Maybe not so much for early access, but I enjoyed what I had seen. I think a lot of people are into it. I think the idea of having a studio like SOE working on something like this is super reassuring to fans of the genre because I mean we have all these other mods and they're all like people from the mod community. They make great stuff, but most of the time they're 2 people or 5 people or 10 people, right? They're not a studio like SOE, which has giant teams devoted
Sure.
to
Yeah.
games like this.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I
and
mean,
they're
it's
also
nice
sharing
that they can at
resources.
least use the engine from another game.
Exactly.
You know,
That they're
that's
sharing resources with other people. So, like, if the Planet Side 2 team finds something that's amazing, my understanding was that the engine is pretty modular, so they could just port that over to H1Z1. And same thing with H1Z1. If they create something in that game that's really cool, they can just send that over to the Planet Side 2 team and they can mess around with it. So I kind of like that design philosophy, how everyone's kind of working on the same thing, but not really.
yeah. I gotcha. Well, I look forward to seeing more. Are they going to be doing more of these sort of highlight things as new releases come out, or?
You know, I don't know. I was the third streamer that they had out there. They had Jericho on Wednesday, and then they had Ko on Thursday. And I don't know if they're going to be doing more this next week or what. They haven't really announced or talked anything about that.
Okay.
But it's. I think we're going to see a lot more devs start doing things like that because it's super cheap to fly someone out, give them a hotel for a night or two, and then have them come in and show their entire audience on Twitch plus 1,000 or so, and just get free advertising. Basically, well, not free, but you're paying for the person to be there. But it's a great way to advertise the game, as well as just show things off.
I agree. I think it's a smart thing to do, especially if you are going to have an early access game. I think it's also great to be like someone like you who plays a lot of these games who could probably offer some insight that's not totally ludicrous over the top bullshit as well,
Right,
because
right,
they get
right.
a lot of that from chat too, where like people don't quite understand the process that goes into development, and you know, I think that's beneficial to the studios, beneficial to the broadcasters, beneficial to the
Yeah.
community. And someone was mentioning that they felt like the H1Z1 community was already quite good.
Yeah.
And I would, you know, I would agree. So I mean, you are going to see more and more of this, like this, I guess, synergy between streamers and game developers as they realize that this is one of the best resources to get the word
Totally.
out and market their game. And SOE has gone on the record. You know, Smedley's gone out and said, if you're not live streaming, you're idiots.
Yeah,
It was
yeah, yeah.
basically what he said. So
Totally.
I think that's
And
great.
SOE is also even kind of going the one step further with right after we wrapped up the stream, I recorded a 40-minute interview with Jimmy where we covered a lot of stuff that was on the stream, but I also asked some questions that weren't. And then right after that, this entire time I recorded locally on Shadowplay. They let me install Shadowplay onto their machine record footage that was like 36 gigs, and then I put it up on Google Drive, and now I have it here at the house. Like,
Nice.
you don't get that type of stuff from devs out there, or at least in the past you haven't, where
Right.
you're just given full access to do whatever you want with stuff that is
Yeah.
so fucking alpha, that is so early on. And they're just like, yeah, sure, show it. That's fine. You can put it wherever you want. Just send us a link. We'll help promote it. And I was kind of like, not blown away, but I was just like, that's really interesting to see how like things have changed over the past couple of
They
years.
certainly have, haven't they? They certainly have.
Because that would be heresy. Like in the past, you wouldn't even ask something like that because you would know the answer no matter what.
Instantly, right?
Yep. Yep.
Awesome.
So yeah, H1Z1. I'll be playing the early access whenever that comes out. I still have no idea. They didn't tell me. Like the stream didn't go off, and it's like, by the way, it's coming out. They were like, no, we don't. We're still figuring it out. We don't know.
They just teased you a little bit.
Yeah.
Just teased you a bit. Awesome. So I guess I've finished some games. So I did finish Metal Gear Rising.
Okay.
And
oh yeah, that was like a. We haven't done a show in 2 weeks. That's
right. We haven't done one in a while. So that's kind of the old news. The one that I finished recently that I just really loved was Shovel Knight, which you talked about a little bit on the show. But Shovel Knight is it's just such a fantastic mix, and it goes to show, JP, that you can just have so much fun with simplicity, that you don't need a whole lot in order to create a fantastic, fantastic gaming experience. Shovel Knight had the great music. It had a decent challenge. It had that old school 8-bit Mega Man Castlevania feel to it. You know, everything about this game was fantastic, and this game is one of those that will go on sale a million times over the next 5 years. And I just can't urge everyone enough to just get yourself, the game when it comes on sale and play the shit out of it. And I was only disappointed in one thing, JP. The game is like new enough that it was really stingy about the joystick that I used. So I wanted to play with the SNES controller, or with the just NES controller, and it would not recognize it. I could load up an emulator and use it, and everything would work fine. But then I tried it in this game, and it just wouldn't. I tried to use like a fake wrapper for Xbox. It wouldn't do that. I mean, it's whatever. It's like a small gripe, but that would have been. It was the perfect, NES controller game, and I never got a chance to really use it. So
that's too bad. But
I don't know.
Fantastic.
I'm curious about how big the team that made that. You can't really tell too much by the credits, but I mean, I think that those guys should try to bust out a few more of those.
I wonder how big. I'm looking at Yacht Club Games. I love their dev team name. Yeah. I don't know how many people are on that team actually.
Yeah, I mean,
they never really say.
It's hard to get an indication from credits.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, when that's my only complaint about the game, it's a pretty good game. Like everything else about it is good. It pisses you off just enough. It gives you just enough challenge. So it's pretty great. I loved it quite a bit. Yeah.
So we got Metal Gear Revengeance, or Metal Gear Rising.
Yeah.
Revengeance. Shovel Knight. What else?
So now the 5th episode and the final episode of The Wolf Among Us.
Did you finish it?
I have not finished it. I'm probably going to finish it tonight. But I only played episode 1, and I was upset enough at episode 1 because of some things that happened that I was just like, I was being all snooty comic book guy about it. But now, of course, that the 5th one has come out, I'm like, sweet. Now I'm going to power through it. So I played through 2 and 3 last night. They're fantastic. The game is great. The Wolf Among Us episodes certainly seem much shorter, JP. And someone even said that 4 is going to be super short, and then 5 is a good one. But they've got good pacing, I feel. Okay. And there are so many Easter eggs in the game.
Easter eggs for fans of the comics?
Okay. Yes. And that, I mean, no one should feel bad if they don't, because they all pertain to the story, but they're just like a character being there, or a character being in a certain place when and something happened that changes to what that character is doing actively in the comic. You know, it's just really cool shit like that. So I just
Right.
love that they paid attention to and I guess gave fan service to those folks.
Huh.
So yeah, they say 4 is really, really short. So
Yeah, I bought that when it was on Steam sale for like $5 or so. So I'll play through that either this week or next week. We'll see.
yeah, I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to finish it today. Um, yeah. So okay, the other one before I go into like my actual new games that probably people haven't heard about. So I've been playing more CS:GO.
Yeah.
JP, you know, and
Did you play while I was gone?
I played a little bit. Yeah, I'm like I'm to that point now where it's just like I got no fear. I'll just hop into a competitive match by myself and hope that I don't get 4 idiots. And usually what I get are like 4 guys who are super tryhards, and I like laugh when I'm doing, I'm doing reasonably well, knowing, that I have like 8 hours of actual game time. And so the other night, in a pretty much all silver beatdown because I'm still unranked, I was top of the leaderboards, and all these guys were like talking all sorts of shit about how long they've been playing, and felt really good, man. Felt really good. But here's the funny part. So round 1, we're CT side. And they rush B, they plant, and it's basically 3 on site, and then like 4 of us trying to break in. They break in, they kill 1 guy. It's 1v2 me versus these 2 guys, and like I'm the worst with pistols too, and somehow I managed to headshot both these guys, and like I'm trying to find the fucking bomb, JP. Right? I can't find the bomb.
Just like we're spinning and circling around.
It was more because there were 4 fucking morons in my head going, it's behind you to your right, behind you, right, next to it, right, left, turn around, spin, 180, 360, spin, what, we'll watch it. And I'm just like, shut the fuck up, you. Anyway, needless to say, I didn't defuse the bomb. And they were all like, look, well man, if we lose this series because of you by 1, then we're going to fucking remember that shit. Yeah. Then I carried them the whole match. It felt real good. Felt real good. Feel like I'm finally...
Good. I haven't played CSGO. I think we played last Sunday, and that might have been the last time.
Yeah.
I've been hooked on Battle Royale this past 2 weeks.
I know, man. I know. I've been...
my go-to thing.
I've been enjoying watching. I love it because I love shit that I will never play, but is really fun to watch.
Yeah, I kind of I think it was Wednesday when I last played it. I kind of almost got to the point where I was like generally frustrated about dying. And it was only because I was playing on a UK server. I had like 200 ping, and I'm driving down the road in this car going like, I don't know, 100 kilometers an hour, 60 miles an hour or whatever. And I'm just kind of like cruising. I'm reading chat. And I like hear this horn, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? I'm like looking around in front of me. I don't see anything. And I like turn all the way around, and there's this other car who's like catching up to me. And I'm like, what the fuck? What is going on? And he like gets to my side and then just rams me off the road, and my car spins off the road. And I get out, and I have the shot on these 2 people in this car. It was these 2 buddies that were teamed up, which is lame in the first place. But I like have the shot on these 2 people. And then my character just kind of like falls over because they were on much better ping and just got the shot off before I could ever even.
Oh, that sucks.
So I was a little bit pissed off about that because I was wandering around for like 30 minutes prior to that, and never saw a person. But at the same time, like I got into a game right after that, and it was like I think I got to the final 3 or the final 2 or something like that. It was super fun. So it comes and goes.
Okay. I have to ask you this fucking question, JP, because it's been driving me nuts. I can't figure it out. My wife hasn't been able to figure it out. How the fuck do you read the map when you are in game? Like, is there an indicator on the map that I can't see on the stream, or do you have to use the coordinates that you see next to your head?
You got to use the coordinates.
So what exactly are you looking at? Are you looking at like where it
if
says
you're looking at the map right-
157?
It says 104156 right now on the
Okay.
screen.
So that
So
means
that is your GPS, and that is a grid on the map somewhere. And when you go to the map, you can also hit the little circle thing, and that'll give you like a general zoom in of where you're at. And then you can kind of like use your mouse to look around. But most of the time,
I
you can
see.
see the different structures on the map itself.
Right,
Like,
right.
When you
And
just hit M, you'll know where you're at.
But there was a couple times where like you were in butt fuck wherever, and I was like, dude, how does he know where the fuck he's at? Like we couldn't.
And a lot of times I am just kind of guessing. Like there's still a lot of stuff in that game, which is a part of the Arma 3 engine that I have no fucking clue is in there, or I have no fucking clue how to make it work, or how to like understand it.
Yeah.
But most of the time, I just kind of like I get lucky, or I deal with it and I figure it out afterwards. Like I didn't know there was this one game where like I was using a scope that had two different scopes on it. One was a 10-time scope, and one was
I saw that when the guy was when you were on the beach and you kept on shooting the guy and the.
And the reason, like, I was on him with the sights. Like, those shots should have hit. But on the ×10 zoom, the zeroing is much higher. It's automatically zeroed. And so, like, all those shots were, like, 3 or 4 feet off the entire time. And I just didn't know that. I just wasn't aware. And so that was really, like, frustrating for me to learn about afterwards. But
but there's got to be so much in this game that you just learn from experience, like accidentally putting down a trip mine and
exactly, and walking over
it, yeah.
And now I know it, and now hopefully that'll never happen again.
What like how big are these worlds? Like
they're pretty fucking big.
I mean, I guess the question is like, how often have you played the same area?
Never.
So are they procedurally generated?
No. So the entire Arma 3 world is like giant. It is a giant fucking like massive.
Right.
I mean, I think it takes like I don't know the exact time, but I want to say it takes more than 20 minutes if you're in like a jet going like 500 miles an hour to clear this thing, and by just going straight across. I think it takes a very, very long time to do that. And what this mod is doing is just jumping you into random points on the map where the circle pops up, and then the circle always gets smaller within that previous circle. And so that's kind of how it ticks down.
Right. But it just always is choosing some random Arma 3 spot, and that can arbitrarily change
pretty much, yeah. As long as it's on like that Atlas Isle or whatever it's called, it's always changing. Like I think I've played like 35 matches or so, and I've never seen the same map. I've seen like the same areas maybe, but the circle is never in the same area, no matter what. It's always different for me.
And there are some leaderboards for this, aren't there?
There are leaderboards. They started, I think, like the day that I started playing 2 weeks ago. They started up.
So do you have some? You got some stats up there?
Yeah. You have to show my Steam ID. So let me find it for you, because that's how they do it. I'm trying to think. What is it? Battle Royale.
And how many have you actually won? I think I've seen you win one.
I've won
1 or 2.
I've won either 4 or 5.
Okay, nice.
I forget. No, what the hell is the website? There we go.
But you're having a lot of fun with it. Like I felt like every time I've seen you play, it seemed to be a lot of fun. At first, I was like I was questioning it because it seemed like you were having a really hard time finding a game when things first started. But then after that, I've never seen you like wait that long for games to start.
So I am, it takes a while sometimes to start games, only because the US servers aren't that populated or haven't been recently. So I'm like top, I don't want to count all the way down, but I think I'm like top 30. The number one guy, Jesus Christ, these guys are kind of crazy. Number one guy has played, what is this? 85 games, and he's won 31 times. That's really fucking impressive.
Wow, dude.
He's got 130.
Is this the SWEC site?
No, it's leaderboard.battleroyalegames.com is what I'm using.
Okay.
Um, yeah, 31 wins, 54 losses, 132 kills. There's a guy with 191 kills. He's got the most kills in the game. Um, I think the thing that sucks about these leaderboards is in the game, there's a lot of people that team up, which I think is like really lame,
Oh, yeah.
especially when it comes down to like the final four, because then it's like a 2v1v1. And it's
Sure.
very hard to like you'll get into like snipe fights in between like two hills towards the end, and you can find one person and you can get the shot off. But the second that you fire that shot, his friend is going to know exactly where you're at through the muzzle flare or through whatever, and he could already be flanking you at that point.
Right.
So
And
like
then you
it's
just
very hard.
have you run into that quite a bit, actually?
Well, yeah, I mean, I see as soon as I die, I have spectatorship. So like
Right.
I see it every game.
Oh, yeah. You've seen, that's right. Like, you've obviously, these guys are working together. They're just
Yeah,
chilling in this bush.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I mean, there's nothing player unknown can do to like combat that, and I don't think he should. But it's kind of lame. Like it kind of takes away from the game of. I mean, I guess that happens in battle royale. It is a free for all. You can do whatever the fuck you want. It's just a little bit annoying when you come up against that type of stuff.
Hmm.
But I haven't seen any more than two or than pairs of two.
That's
So
good that it's not.
that's
I mean, I expect that people are going to do dumb shit like that, though. So
oh yeah,
that's not
yeah, yeah,
surprising.
totally.
Um,
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm glad I bought the Arma 3 when it was on sale because it's back to $60 now.
so I have two other games that I've not ever really talked about here. One is it's an older game that was up for PlayStation Plus, and it's the Muramasa Rebirth. And I don't know if you've ever seen this game.
I played it on
Uh,
the Wii
you
when
did?
it first came out. Yeah,
How long did you play it for?
um, almost till the end. I got pretty far.
Yeah?
It gets pretty hard if I
I mean,
remember.
yeah, like I definitely see where there's a challenge, but having played Devil May Cry, having just played Metal Gear Rising, like this is unadulterated fucking button mashing.
Uh-huh.
Like there's no like once you have played 5 hours, you've pretty much done every combo that you're going to do in the game.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, so the way this works is it's like this really gorgeous 2D uh, art drawn game where you collect these blades and then you just fight stages of enemies and you go through. There's an entire story, and you forge new swords that have special abilities and like power you up. But each one, even with its own unique special ability, like I feel like it. I feel like it just. I don't get me wrong. I keep on picking it up to play, but I feel like I thought there was a lot more depth to the game than there actually is.
It's been like 2 or 3 years since I played that, so I honestly can't remember.
I mean, the art in and of itself is totally fucking awesome.
Yeah, I
And
mean
and
that's what I took away from that game was that even on the Wii, even not HD like 480p bullshit, it still looked amazing. So I can't even imagine what it looks like in HD.
all right, people are saying that it gets difficult, so that's really what I should be looking for. And it has been. It has gotten difficult. The bosses are nice and hard. I like that. It's got, anytime you've got something like that where you've got a challenge there. Um, anyway, it's free for if you're a PlayStation Plus user for Vita, so it's like
Shit,
why
I
not
hate
get it?
that.
It's 400 megabytes, so it's totally worth it. Um,
Oh, it probably looks really good too on the Vita screen.
oh yeah, it does. It
Yeah.
does. Very good. And then the other game that I have been playing, and let me find their page. I'll tell you what, JP, every once in a while, you come across a game that has like, or maybe even a studio that has the ability to create these like amazing UIs, and
Yeah,
everything looks polished. And in the world of mobile, you see a lot of fucking ass AI, like just
sure.
shit ass
AI or
AIs.
UI? AI or UI?
UI, excuse me, UI, yes.
Okay.
And these guys over at Hammer and Chisel created a iPad MOBA called Fates Forever that not only looks incredible, but it has one of the most amazing UIs of any mobile game I've ever seen. And it's available for iOS. If you own an iPad, you should definitely check this game out. It is a two-lane, very quick, action-focused MOBA. You know I've talked about a few others on the show before. This was one of those MOBAs that I said, there's two coming out, and this is one of those two that is really, really solid and really good. If you have an iPad Air, seeing this game run in 60 FPS is fucking incredible. I don't have an iPad Air, and I only get 30 FPS, but I've seen and played it on 60, and it's totally awesome. And I'm gonna see if maybe I can find a. I don't even have my thing hooked up, or I would totally show you guys. But I'm gonna create a video of it. What I love about this game, and I'll try to explain it without really being able to see it or show you, is that when they take the moves of all of the combatants, is what they're called in this game, they do something where they add touch controls to the skill of the character. So, for example, there's this guy, this mole guy right here. He's like a mage, and one of his moves is he has this line of fire that you shoot out. And the way you do it is when you hit the line of fire, this little ball shows up around him, and then you drag the line of fire where you want it to go. So, like when you're in combat, you can create a wall of fire to close off, for the minions, or you can wrap a person make them fight in a little ring of fire so they're going to take damage when they leave. The Cottontail chick has something similar where her ultimate is she turns invisible, and then you draw where you want her to like slice all around the screen. And then cool. she slices, but you also have to think about the characters are moving while you're slicing. So, there's a lot of skill shots in the game. There's some good players out there already, but it's pretty awesome for a tablet MOBA. Like, it's quite shocking at how good these guys are able to make these games. But I think it's like a 600 megabyte download and totally worth checking out. They've implemented things like daily quests similar to Hearthstone, so they give you, incentive to come back. And I want to see if I can just find a screenshot of the UI.
How many people are playing it? Does it have a pretty good community?
They have a weekly this doesn't show the UI, but they have a weekly leaderboard that they change, and it's as high as 10,000. So that means 10,000 people have at least won a game. Yeah. And that means that there's probably a lot of people that haven't won a game. So I would guess they're like sitting around like weekly uniques playing probably 10 to 20,000 so far. Which for an iOS game, that's not too shabby.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I don't think this has a full... well, fuck it. Fuck this website. God damn it. You guys suck. All right, I was trying to bring up a picture of it, but I'm failing. Game has obviously a mechanic so you can earn or to buy characters and whatnot. But if you've got a tablet, check this out. Add me on it, djWHEAT. And here we go.
I played a mobile game yesterday on the plane.
Oh, what'd you play?
I watched my movie, and I watched 24 on the way out there, so I didn't have anything to do on the way back. And so I was like looking on my iPhone, seeing what I had installed. I had not messed around in a very long time with mobile games. And Infinity Blade 2 was there.
Oh, God, dude. Oh, God.
I lasted about 20 or 30 minutes, but it was a good time suck. Like, I was glad that I was able to knock out 20 or 30 minutes of the fight. But yeah, the game's old as shit.
Yeah, it is.
It's really old.
Oh my gosh, it still probably looks pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it looked pretty good. Animations were pretty cool looking.
Um,
Old as shit though.
I did find so Hammer and Chisel are the guys that made that Fates Forever because people were asking about it one more time. So I won't
Uh-huh.
spend too much more time on it, but here's this is not the best direct capture, but here's the UI for the game. So as just a normal play mechanic, you go through your store, friends, whatever.
I'm interested to see this.
And then, but you can see it's like it's really polished and it's all animated quite nicely. There you have your daily quest. You can click on one and you can swap it out if you don't like what you see. There's where it shows the weekly victories. And then they have like links to the forums. I guess level 40 is the max. I've never actually seen, but if they certainly are going to be jumping into a game here, and you can just see what it looks like, and there we go. But you could like I've played a few other MOBAs on iOS, like even the Heroes of Order and Chaos, which is the GameLoft one.
Yeah.
This one looks fucking remarkable. Like it's got Dota quality, like background sort of looking.
It does look yeah, it does kind of look a little bit like Dota. Only slightly though.
Oh, right. Don't like the comparison. Stop there, ladies and gentlemen. This is not, it just has sort of that nice art that goes with it. So anyway, there you have it. Fates Forever.
Interesting.
It is. It's pretty good. And the guys that make the game are pretty awesome.
Interesting. I don't think I've played anything else. I'm trying to think back. Oh, I played some Divinity Original Sin. I don't know if we've talked about that at all. That game's pretty good. But
oh yeah. And you're playing again tonight, right?
yeah, I'm going to be playing a little bit later today. We had to reschedule it because I forgot that, just about every fucking esports tournament is having something on today on the same exact day. So you have to have like 20 streams up at one time to be able to watch everything.
Crazy.
But yeah, I'm still so early on in that game. It's good. I enjoy it, but I'm so early on. I don't want to like give a fully fleshed out opinion of it.
But
it
you
seems
did
really
say
good,
you did say that you instantly felt it was better when you were playing it with another person, right?
I did say that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I had a lot more fun, and that might just be my play style of it. But it is like super dialogue based. It's really, really dialogue heavy. And that stuff is more interesting to me if I have someone else there to have banter over the dialogue or something like that. Like I'm not so much interested in that. I'm more interested in the loot, the dungeon exploring, and the
Right.
fighting. And I think there's a lot of stuff in there with that in mind.
So you'll give
Yeah.
maybe a more comprehensive review once.
Yeah, I think we're gonna play like 2 or 3 hours today, me and Maggie, and then maybe play some more one night this week. But I do want to play a lot of it. Everyone that I think Neil of Roleplay and also of his own stream says that it's in his top games of all time.
Really?
He rates it really fucking high. Yeah. But he loved Baldur's Gate 1 and 2s.
Right.
So like that's his shit. Like that is his game right there. And that's exactly what this game is an HDified version of old CRPGs, which is awesome. I think that's great that's coming back, and it's reviewing like super well, like incredibly well out there. Like nothing but 9s and 10s from what I've seen.
These guys have always made solid games. That's why they have like just such a huge following, I think, even though it might not be the biggest. So it's nice to see them getting out there now, and in a world
Seems to be
where
selling well too.
yeah, in a world where now it's easier to push a game like that.
Exactly.
Their original Divinities, like I think they were all self-published and shit like that. Like I never even heard about them until some guy back in the Epileptic Gaming days. It's like, you got to play this game. I'm going to send them to you and force you to play them. And I was like, holy shit!
Yeah.
Like, and they came like, you remember when you'd still buy software in the store? You'd go to like Target and you'd just have like Jewel CD case.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like that's what Divine Divinity originally came in. Like I was just like, what is this? Like it doesn't even have a box, really, And I didn't appreciate or give credit to the fact that someone could make a good game and not necessarily put it in a box to sell at fucking Best Buy, etc. So
it's funny. But yeah, apart from that, I got this. This is a flashback to to the Past.
Oh shit.
I played it until almost completion. I know what happens at the end of the game, but I want to replay it because I remember just like loving that game, just having an
Dude,
absolute fucking
music,
blast.
dialogue,
Yeah,
the
I still remember
crazy
that.
shit that would happen to you out in the, you know,
Yeah,
in the field. Like,
I still remember the moments of like, I don't know if it's right when you get to Mexico, but there's like that one scene where you come up over the hill and you like see the entire valley or all the area. And I was just like, this game's amazing. Like, video games are fucking
and
crazy.
they have that awesome song that plays as you're going
Yeah,
into the river.
exactly. And
Yeah.
you're walking down. So I'm really interested to get back into that game.
And it does
and I'll
kind
probably
of.
do that this week.
I agree with Skythe. It doesn't have the quickest start, but it's all about the journey of getting, you know, the story. So it's
Yeah,
pretty
exactly.
fantastic.
Exactly. And then your favorite Wheat. I'm probably going to jump back into this as well. Some driving
I don't
games.
know why you even waste your time, bro. I really don't.
It's because I love driving to good music, man. It's one of my favorite things in the world. I don't know.
I've been, you know, I mean, speaking of like going back and playing games or getting ready for new ones, like I'm really thinking about just grabbing Bayonetta and playing it
You should.
now.
You know, I never.
before-
Maybe I need to play that. That's one of the things too. Now that I stream like 40 hours a week, is that I can actually like go into these games and finish one
right,
in a week.
right, and yeah,
And
absolutely.
I don't feel bad because I'm going to be streaming it all, and I need stuff to stream. So there's a pretty big backlog of games that I need to play.
There's a pretty big one indeed.
And so maybe Bayonetta goes on that list.
It should. I mean, with the sequel coming out, and you've got a Wii U, so hey, you're
Yeah.
already one ahead.
I'm already
and
in.
apparently, they've been so happy working with Nintendo on Bayonetta 2 that they're already talking about Bayonetta 3
saw that.
also being a Wii U exclusive. So.
I saw that. It was rather interesting.
That's kind of crazy to me, but we'll see how that works
Yeah.
out. So, well, should we take a break and come back? Maybe open the phone lines, talk a little
Yeah,
bit
we've
about
got
some
some
of the
news.
news going on. Yeah. So
Sounds good.
let's do that. So we're gonna come back. We're gonna do news and all that other good stuff. So don't go away. More 8-bits coming at you after this. We'll be right back.
See you soon.